Orion is proudly sponsored by Gecko Cards, your go-to store for all things Yu-Gi-Oh! Check out the link in the description for great deals, fast shipping, and to help us out.
So guys, it's Oliver from Team Orion. I'm here to show you my Elfnote Fiendsmith deck profile. I think it's pretty decent because I think it's only decent at the minute because it's kind of new. I think the pendulum cards that are coming out are going to make it like more broken. But yeah, we'll jump right in. So you're playing 3 copies of Medius the Pure, because this gets you to full Elfnote combo to full Fiendsmith combo at the same time. So on summons a Power Patron from deck, which is why you only play 2 of the Power Patron. This is everybody knows to like hand trap the Medius because it's so like flimsy to just losing to a single Ash Imperm Veiler. Because like if you waste your normal summon on it, it doesn't really matter to them to just throw it on it and hope for the best because it could be your only starter. But yeah, summons a Power Patron from deck, and then yeah, then you're all gas no breaks realistically from there. Then Elfnotes, you play 3 copies of Lucina. All the Elfnotes have like the same summoning condition. So they're all level 6, and you can special summon to the center monster zone once that way. They can be summoned back by like different means, but only to like special summon them from hand like a Kashtira monster. It's once. Lucina's like good to get you to full combo as well, because you can special this and then this will add you a Elfnote monster. So in this sense, there'd be no point adding, for example, the other 2 Elfnote, any of the other 2 Elfnote level 6 monsters, because your middle zone will be used and you can't special them. So if you add the Power Patron, which is a level 1, you can then normal summon the Power Patron and then Synchro off into the Synchro and then get your search off the Power Patron, which we'll get to shortly. And then you'll have your Elfnote Synchro. Then it's 3 copies of Tiana. This is also a full combo, which is kind of crazy. So currently you've got like 6 1-card combos. Medius being similarly like the most fragile because it just loses to 1 interruption. Whereas like so does this, but then if you special this, effect a search, gets ashed, you can then like normal summon the Medius effect, summon the Power Patron and like do it that way. And then you could realistically leave the Medius on board and then just Synchro 7, get your search just to clear out your middle zone to then summon search this Tina, which then this places the continuous spell face up, which I'll get to when we get to the spells. I should have mentioned that they all have like effects in your opponent's turn. So for example, the Lucina swaps places with a monster in your center monster zone and bounces a level 6 or lower monster back to the hand, non-targeting. The Tiana rips a card from your opponent's hand, or banishes it until the end phase, which is pretty nice. And then we'll get on to the third one, which is the Fortuna. This is the only one that doesn't like really get you to combo. So again, can be special to the center zone. And this places, it's not quick effect or on summon, like ignition effect, places the continuous trap, which is it reborns and it can be in a gate, which I'll explain when we get to it. So this tends to be your last one, and that's why you only play 1 of it, because it doesn't really get you anywhere. And then if you summon, unless you obviously if you have the Power Patron still, you can do the same thing, just in a different order. And then this, in your opponent's turn, quick effect, you move it, they all move to the center zone, so this moves to the center zone, and it bounces a face up spell or trap to the hand. Then we play 2 of the Power Patron, because you can play 1, but then obviously if you have it in your hand and you have Medius is just dead, because Medius only summons from deck. So this, while it's on field, you're locked into synchros, just while it's on field. Then it has a quick effect. You can target the monster in your center monster zone, increase its level by 3, and then you can synchro into a Elfnote synchro or the Juniper Power Patron, so the big synchro monster. But the stipulation is that you can. So you can. There's some funky synchro lines that you can actually do with this, because you can choose not to synchro. And then it still keeps the level modulation. And then when it's used as synchro material, you add a Elfnote card from your deck to your hand. So it's similar to the other 2 Power Patrons. So that's it for the Elfnotes and Medius. So then we're playing the Fiendsmith package. So we're playing the standard 3 Engraver, 1 Lacrima, 1 Lurie. Obviously don't really need to explain these. They've been around for so long. There's multiple ways to get to Fiendsmith in this deck, which is why it's... Personally, I think it's the best variant. Like, I tried Centurion, but there's a way to bridge Elfnote into Centurion, but no way to get Centurion into Elfnote, if that makes sense. So, this way, there is a bridge, but I tried it, and I think it was just waste of extra deck slots with Aerial Eater and Cross Sheep. Because the Power Patron is a fiend, so you can dump it off Aerial Eater. Link the sequence and the Aerial Eater off into Cross Sheep, banish 2 Engravers, summon back the Aerial Eater. Then reborn the Power Patron, summon it, Synchro 7, and then search off this. But then you're already playing into Nib there, so it's kind of not the best. But yeah, so basic Fiendsmith package, and I'll explain how to get into it afterwards, other than by itself. Hand traps wise, I'm playing 3 Ash, 3 Fua, 3 Perulia, 3 Nib, and 2 Bell. The reason I'm playing 6 Charmies is it doesn't really break boards very well. It's very good at going first and setting up multiple interruptions that way. But like, if you sort of trying to force your opponent to make sort of like a half board that's easier to out. Like all the Elfnotes are like 25, 24, and 22, so they're pretty decent beaters that you can just special for free. So regardless of that, like, you can still summon them back and there's multiple ways to get to them. But in terms of playing through everything, like if you drop 2 Charmies, like it being like 2 Fua, 2 Perulia, or 1 of each, plus all the plus the Ash, the Bell, the Nib, they're not really going to get very far, and like the half board is much easier to break than obviously the full board. Ash, self-explanatory, probably to stop these, and Draco Tail if you can hit it right. Perulia is very good for the Vanquish Soul K9 at the minute. Nib, I'm torn between playing this. I'm just playing it currently because like everything is just summoning so many times, but you could probably cut this, play 3 Bell and play two Droll. But then again, Droll is also very situational at the minute, and with it being at 2, it's seeing it. So I've sort of gone with the half board strategy. Then let's just throw every hand trap I can at my opponent, and then pray that I've got a 1-card starter. So yeah, spells and traps. I'm playing 3 of the Welcome Home. I initially was playing 1 of this, but I think this being able to just summon from deck and being placed off the Tiana is just so free. And even if like I am going first and I am playing the 6 Charmies, I've placed this, and then I contribute from hand or field to special summon an Elfnote monster that's different attribute to the ones that I've sent, which is being like the fire, water, and light. So either way, I'm going to get to one of the 3 by sending anything. And then its other effect is... this also adds a lock of... So as soon as you summon from deck with this, you're locked into synchros for the rest of your turn, which obviously limits your Fiendsmith plays. But there's ways to do it beforehand, which I can do a quick combo at the end to show you how you get into it pretty freely. And then the monster in my center monster zone cannot be destroyed by card effects either. So if they do stop me and I place this, and then I have no way of getting to anything else, they can't just pop my middle monster, which doesn't have to be an Elfnote. It can just be anything that's in the center monster zone. I'm playing 3 Ethereal Eyes, which is full combo in itself, and it can also be, well, it's a 1.5 and it has to be a monster. It dumps Medius for cost, and then you look at the top card of your opponent's deck and choose whether you put it to the top or the bottom. So, for example, if they charm you and you know that they're going to get that draw next, or the nib, or anything like that, or even just like some gas, like you can just put it to the bottom and know that they're not potentially not going to get that as the next draw. This deck's not great into Fua. You have to give sort of a lot of... You're doing a lot of extra deck or deck summoning, so it's tough to make a half board, but sometimes it's just worth playing the game and just going through it. Also has a second effect where you can banish it from the grave, target a monster on the field, select a type and attribute, and that monster becomes that type and attribute until the end of the turn, which is obviously your way to bridge into Fiendsmith. So, for example, if you activate this, dump Medius, shuffle back a Charmy, for example, I'm going first. Summon out effect on summon to summon a power patron. They ash it, so there's no way of me getting to the power patron. I can then banish this from my grave, make it Light Fiend, and then go into the Requiem from there. So it's pretty good access to the actual Fiendsmith engine. I'm playing 2 Tract, just because Tract is just gas on its own, and then if you draw the Tract and you have the Engraver in hand, you can still use the Engraver to sort of force it, and then just get the Engraver out of your hand rather than having to summon it from hand off the Requiem or anything like that. And just, it's good for the grind game because you're shuffling them back to summon anyway. And sometimes the fuse effect from the graveyard is pretty useful. You get your sequence impermed or negated somehow, and then you can just do Tract instead. It's pretty decent, but it's just Tract. It's just basic. Then I'm playing 1 Call By for the standard, and I'm playing 1 Other Trap. As soon as the Pendulum cards come out, you can actually recur these. There is a way to do it now with the Cyframe Omega, but it's a little slow, which is not ideal. And the Fortuna, the light one, can actually place this from hand or deck. So it's always usable turn 1, but obviously you don't want to draw it, which is why it's just a 1-off. This you tribute for cost Reborn a Elfnote of a different attribute to the one you tributed, and then if you control a Synchro, you can non-target negate 1 card on field. So it's pretty decent. And then this also has a continuous effect of the monster you control in the center monster zone is the only monster that your opponent can declare an attack on. So you always sort of want to... It is kind of about a balancing act of using your middle monster zone and like keeping it free for your free special summons. So it can sort of be somewhat difficult to pilot if you're not like if you're just slapping monsters down willy-nilly. Like if you just like you normaled your Medius into your center zone and it gets Ash, then there's nothing you can realistically do. Because obviously your center monster zone's clogged. So yeah. Then extra deck. I'm playing 1 Requiem, obviously the Fiendsmith. I'm playing Link Spider. Link Spider is literally just because this deck does play into Nib, and if people know that you're playing Elfnote, they're obviously going to know that you're going to summon into the center monster zone. So they'll put the token, for example, in your center monster zone, and if you're not playing Link Spider, it kind of just ends your turn and you just sat on this stupid token for nothing. So then you can just link it off into Link Spider, clear your monster zone, and have a target for an extra deck monster for your SP, and you can still link into your Requiem underneath it if you need to. So yeah, I'm also playing Sequence, obviously for the Fiendsmith package. SP because it's just SP. It's still like one of the most broken cards going. Then for the synchros, I'm playing the Armenides Keeper of Boundaries. This is your bridge into Fiendsmith via synchros. So, for example, you summon out the Medius. Medius summons out the Power Patron, obviously not in the middle zone if you don't want to. Then you'll synchro these into this. It'll be New Chain, Power Patron to add an Elfnote, so then you're getting into your other Elfnotes. This is Light Fiend, so you can link this off into Requiem, and then you go full Fiendsmith before you commit to your Elfnote plays. So you can make your Caesar before you've done anything like that. Or they'll nib you before you get to Caesar, and then at that point, like, it doesn't realistically matter because you're going to have all your Elfnote combo. Playing 2 of the Elfnote synchro. I was playing 1, and it was just a nightmare trying to, like, manage it. It's like when you first start playing Branded and you're playing 1 Mirror Jade. It can be stressful to sort of manage it. So 2 was the optimal for me. So this, its original attack while it's in the middle monster zone is 3k. And then it has a quick effect. You special summon a level 6 or lower Elfnote monster from your hand or graveyard, and then you can reduce the level of all level 4 or higher monsters on the field by 3 until the end of the turn, and then you're locked into synchros. But like, so this is good for like if you make this in their turn with the Power Patron and stuff. Because it's quick effect to level modulate then synchro, but you don't have to use the monster in your center monster zone to synchro it, even though you're level modulating the one in the middle. So you can make this, and then if they're trying to rank climb, so for example like K9 or even like Ryzeal and things like that, they're not going to be able to do it because you've reduced the levels by 3, so they're not going to be, if they're playing rank 5s, they're not going to have any rank 2s. So, yeah, that's your 7 synchro for the Elfnotes. And I'm playing 1 Dawn Dragster, because then I can make this, I can have my spell trap negate, then obviously this level modulates, and then I can use this as synchro material too. So that's pretty much it. And then obviously it has its piercing effect, which I found out when I played against Crystron, which was always fun. Then 1 Crystal Wing, because you can, if you have this, you can reborn the Power Patron, which is a 1, and then just synchro this and the Power Patron into this. Then you've got your monster negate, and obviously the attack gain if it's on field, and plus the battle gain of attack. To just clear things with. Yeah, and then you're playing 1 Omega. Again, the hand rip's really good because then you're getting a double hand rip with the blue Elfnote. Again, and it's also recursion in the standby phase. So, and it's 28. It's pretty good. Like it's very situational, but I think it's still worth playing. And I'm playing Chaos Angel. You could swap this for the Fabled monster, the Fabled Synchro 10, to get a Snatch Steal, and then that's why another reason to play 2-tracked, because if you go through the Medius and Power Patron way to get to your Fiendsmith, and you've still got an Engraver in hand or a Tract in hand, you can summon the Luria and have 2 Fableds, and then when it'll be like a double Snatch Steal, but you're pretty free to make Light and Dark Chaos Angel with Medius and the Fortuna as well. So, and because you're playing synchros, like your synchros are going to be fine and protecting from battle destruction and things like that. Chaos Angel's just broken card. The Power Patron, the big one, it negates everything on summon. Everything your opponent controls on summon. Which is obviously broken, that you're going to make it in their turn. It's also got 3/8 defense. And then as a quick effect, everything that is in the same column as an Elfnote monster I control cannot be used as material for the extra deck, which can come up with obviously all the extra deck monsters that have been being thrown around. And obviously it's just a big beat stick, and you can just put it wherever, put it in defense, put it in attack. If you put it in the middle, then you can just move it freely with the Elfnote monsters in your opponent's turn. So, it's pretty good. You can cut it and play something else if you don't really think you're going to play it, because it is kind of niche to get out. It requires the level modulations, because it's 1 tuner and 2 non-tuners. But you can use a monster in your center monster zone as a tuner. Just to make one of the bigger Elfnote monsters a tuner. And then you don't have to use, you don't always have to use the Power Patron for it. Because currently that is your only tuner in this deck. Then you're playing 1 Caesar and Necroquip for your other Fiendsmith cards, which Caesar's just Caesar, like it's just crazy. Necroquip can also trigger because you tribute him for cost. So you can get some free draws off this using the spell and trap, which is also pretty nice. And then your Desiree for your last of the extra deck and your Fiendsmith stuff. Then obviously side is pretty much based on your locals. But what I've been sort of testing with is 2 draw and a bell, which is basically these could be swapped for the nibs in main. Plus, because you're playing 6 Charmies, you kind of want other things that you can throw in as well. Instead of those if you're going first, because obviously you're going to just take them out. I'm playing 3 Dark Ruler. Like I say, it struggles going second, or struggles breaking boards more than anything. So Dark Ruler just allows you to freely, if they've not laid their interruption, then you're gonna clear it. You're not gonna kill them obviously, but you're gonna clear the board and then make them sort of like rebuild from scratch. 2 Secret Village. All the Elfnote monsters except for the Power Patron are spellcasters, and for some reason the Elfnote Synchro is a plant, which doesn't really make sense, but yeah. So you want to sort of leave your Elfnote monsters on field for the interruption in your opponent's turn, and then obviously with Radiant Typhoon and Branded Dracotail and everything like that floating around. Obviously maybe Branded Dracotail not as much because of all the spellcasters in that, but you're sort of forcing them to use their normal summon on being able to even use like the Ketu, Branded Fusion, Rahu, everything like that. So I think it's a pretty broken floodgate. Not searchable, but you're getting like, you're going to be able to sort of fly through deck and get it at some point. And then 1 Duster, 2 Storm. Pretty self-explanatory. Back row hate or clear board, kill. So yeah, Then I'm on 1 talents. Have a really love-hate relationship with talents. You either you don't play it and you could really use it, or you have it and they never activate anything. So this is just a dead card, and because you need to send attributes, this just sits in your hand and is just a bluff. So, and then I'm on triple evenly. I think evenly is really good this format, just for clearing boards. It just breaks everything. But obviously, this is your side is locals dependent. Depends what you're playing against. What comes up most at your locals. But yeah, that's been Elfnote Fiendsmith. Give it a try. I think it's going to be broken at some point. Right now, your advantage is them not knowing what the cards do. But yeah.